Welcome to the Straight Out of Home Video podcast, part of the Geeky Waffle Network. I'm Candace, and with me today is Bri.
Hello.
And Alice.
Hello.
So this is our very first episode, and we're starting off with Return of Jafar.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Did you guys watch this at all in your childhood?
Definitely. Not as often as I watched Prince of Thieves, but absolutely.
I couldn't remember. I was like, have I ever seen this? And I started watching it. Some things I was like, oh, this is jogging my memory. But I didn't remember it to be like what I watched.
So I rewatched this, and I could remember all the lyrics to the songs.
Oh my gosh, no way.
No, because I vividly remember seeing the trailer for this during Disney afternoons. And they're like, you can bring more of Aladdin's Adventures home. And I was like, I want to do that as a child. And I remember going to Target with my parents and being like, we have to bring Aladdin home. And luckily, they indulged my obsession.
My mom had a bad habit of, and this is what I think might have happened to my copy of Return of Jafar on VHS, is that my mom had a really bad habit of, if there was a movie that we watched too often that she didn't like very much, either because it was annoying or loud or just she thought was dumb, she would like hide it in the back of a closet somewhere and pretend like we lost it. And
that's kind of genius on your mom's part.
It really, really was, to go back and be like, wow, I haven't seen, like, pull out VHS tapes from her house and, like, sort the collection. I was like, wow, I didn't even know we had this. And she was like, well, for a minute, you didn't, because I got so tired of you and your brother watching it over and over again that it went missing. And I feel like, I don't know if she did this to Return to Jafar, but I feel like she did, because I remember watching it as a kid. But then I remember not revisiting it. I definitely watched the third one, Prince of Thieves, way, way, way more often. And I think that it's possible my mom would have hid this because she is not the biggest Gilbert Gottfried fan. And he is in this movie a lot, isn't he?
He's a star.
It should have been called Return of Iago.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. Because, like, I was talking to Alice. We were DMing, and she's like, Iago has 2 songs in this movie.
2 solo numbers. And one of them is, like, romantic almost. Like, or he's, like, it's the one where he's trying to, like, convince Jasmine to take Aladdin back. Isn't that one of them?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a song for Gilbert Gottfried's voice.
None of the was songs for his voice.
Okay, guys, so let's start off with this, because this is the beginning of the straight-to-home video movies. So, do you guys remember the Little Mermaid series?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Disney, even before Aladdin came out, they're like, we love the series. We want an Aladdin series.
I remember the Aladdin series.
Yeah, the Aladdin series that ran for, like, I forget how many episodes.
But for a while, right? I remember watching it a lot as a kid.
Me too. And one of the creators of the Aladdin series is like, I want the parrot in there. But he was trapped in the lamp at the end of the Aladdin movie. So they needed a story of how to get him out of the lamp and with Aladdin, Jasmine, and the gang.
Wait, so they just made this movie solely so they could do the series with the parrot in it?
Yes. He liked Iago that much.
That is so funny. That's hysterical.
This originally was just going to be an hour-long television special, but one of the people in charge was like, hey, why don't we just release this on home video? And it's actually like the perfect time, because VCRs came out, I found out in the 70s, I had no idea. But by the time in the 90s, it was a norm for most Americans to have VCR player. So interesting thing about this movie is half of it was animated in Australia and the other half was animated in Japan. So
okay, so it's definitely different quality, because that's one thing I noticed the most when watching it. I was like, it
switches within at the 34-minute mark.
But it doesn't even look like, you know what I mean? Like, Disney animation is even, like, I prefer the 2D most of the time. But this movie didn't even have, like, great animation.
No, it seemed really cheap.
Yeah.
So let me give you guys a little bit more info. So the Aladdin, the feature-length movie, the one that we all know and love, their budget was $28 million. Guess what Return of Jafar's budget was?
Wasn't it like $300K?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess like 2 million. Like something like something.
I think it was something 2 or 3
way
million,
lower.
but it looks like $200K.
It was $3 million.
3 million. Oh my gosh. It definitely feels it. There's a lot of moments in this film that feel like they cut a lot of corners with animation.
Oh yeah.
Times where it seemed like they had pre-animated a scene and then realized they needed to set it at night, so they just darkened the whole screen.
Yeah.
And so then when they would go from being like, the characters would go from looking fairly dark-skinned to looking fairly light-skinned at like the drop of a hat. And there was no like color correction to like help that transition be less, like if they would go from one lighting to another lighting and their skin tone would change so drastically, there was no work done or money put into making it less like obvious. It was so strange.
Yeah. No, it's very
also,
jarring.
Like, the height of Aladdin and Jasmine like feel like it constantly changes.
Everything, their face shape sometimes, like Jasmine sometimes like was like her eyes are as big as her face in this one scene. I was just like, what is going on?
Okay, but guys, so the film received mixed to negative reviews. Are you guys shocked?
No.
I'm absolutely shocked.
But it sold 15 million VHS tapes.
Oh, wow.
And it grossed over $300 million.
Because no one knew the animation before buying it, right? They're just like, oh, Aladdin, I'll buy it.
Yes, exactly. Like me, a child, seeing it on Disney Afternoon and harassing my parents until they went and bought it. I think I went to the dentist and I didn't cry. So they bribed me with it.
Oh, what a nice gift.
Nice.
Yeah, that's usually what happened. Or like I got a shot and I didn't like lock myself in the bathroom at the doctor's office.
Well, congratulations.
I know.
And
what
what a precious present for you.
Exactly.
One of those 15 million copies was 100% in our house. And it's really something, isn't it? It felt like a relic, like uncovering a time capsule from the early 90s. Everything from like the song styles and the animation styles and all of that. And Jason Alexander doing the voice of like the main bad guy.
Oh, right away I was like, that's Jason Alexander.
That's Jason Alexander. I did have a minute when I was watching with a friend and I was like, is that Wayne Knight? And she was like, no, worse, it's Jason Alexander. And I was like, oh no.
Worse.
I got my Seinfeld actors mixed up, but Jason Alexander would go on to go directly from this to Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is a far superior Disney film.
Oh, yeah, and he was perfect for a gargoyle.
Yeah, he's great as a gargoyle. He is not great as a shockingly racist little thief guy.
Well,
in
yeah,
this.
I have a lot of problems with how a lot of things are portrayed in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, speaking of like the 90s, it's a bunch of white people portraying.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I never feel like I can claim, like, Jasmine as one of my own, because I'm like, it's just some white lady's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. Even though, like, Jasmine meant a lot, especially to, like, my little sister, because she's, like, much darker than I am.
Yeah, I mean,
and she was, like, the first Disney princess that looked like her.
Same.
So, yeah, it's kind of hard to, even though, like, white women played her, she still means a lot to...
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, when I say that, it's just like, it's like a weird feeling, you know?
No, I get that. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the big blue elephant in the room. There is no Robin Williams in this movie.
Not at all.
No, there is not.
Do you guys know the story about why Robin Williams decided not to come back?
Is it money?
No.
I don't know why he didn't decide to come back, but I know that he made a point to come back for the... He came back for the third one because he was really, like, bothered that he didn't like the voice of Genie anymore, right?
No, he did not go because when he signed up to do Aladdin originally, he made a deal with Disney that the Genie would not be used as a promotional device. He would not take up more than 20% of the poster. It would not be advertised as a Robin Williams movie.
Oh, I did hear about that.
And guess what Disney did anyway?
Oh, right away, of course. Oh, Robin Williams as the Genie. Yeah.
The whole way that they got him back was, I think it was Eisner, gave him an original Picasso painting.
No way.
And the fact that the presidents changed and they, like, legitimately, like, apologized to him. So instead, we have Dan Castellaneta.
He's Homer Simpson.
Exactly.
It's so weird. And He sounds just like Homer Simpson. He is
Oh.
exactly Homer Simpson in this movie.
Oh my goodness. I now I'm realizing, as soon as you guys said that, I was like, everything clicks.
He does sound just like, I mean, he's not even doing, it's not like Dan Castellaneta doing a Robin Williams impression. He's just being Homer Simpson. It's pretty good. It's actually not bad for like.
I also I don't know how to feel because I grew up watching that series, and he's also the voice of the genie in that too.
Yeah, so it's like it ties it into the show, I guess, just like this, just like they wanted it to be.
Oh, that makes sense. I actually don't think I really watched the TV series that much, so I couldn't remember. So for me, I was like, oh, this isn't Robin Williams. Oh, this is weird.
Is definitely weird, but it was similar enough that I was almost impressed. I was like, I guess if you're gonna recast Robin Williams, this is the guy to do it. But it's also just off. It's just different enough where you're like, oh no, hold on.
Yeah, you just kind of tilt your head and go, huh.
An odd choice. I thought I remember hearing back in the day that he wanted to come back for the third one because he was irritated. You know what? Nope. I'm wrong. I'm mixing that up with Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO was so mad one time when they released a Star Wars thing where he wasn't C-3PO, and he was like, that didn't sound right, so now I'm going to come back and be the only C-3PO. And I respect the heck out of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we should talk about Iago.
Yeah, he has a really good redemption arc, guys.
A classic, like, Shakespearean redemption arc.
Yeah.
He really goes all the way.
I believed it as a child. Because that's something that's kind of insane, especially for like a child, because you remember in Aladdin, this is like an evil parrot. He was shoving crackers down the Sultan's throat. He was making fun of people.
Yeah, he was all in on the bad guy stuff.
A classic sidekick bully.
Exactly. So the fact that they made us believe as children and be like, yeah, no, I can see Iago being like friends with Aladdin and Abu now.
I think they did that great because it does show people can change.
Yeah.
Even
like the
even
era
though
of
that's
their
not the
ways.
reason they wanted him in it.
No.
Right.
I suppose it's a good lesson for little kids. Like, you know, oh, you can see the error of your ways. And if you're really sorry and people forgive you, then you can be a good person again. It's nice.
It's also interesting that like Iago is like, oh, okay, let's talk about the music.
Yes, let's.
Some of these lyrics are a little weird. It's no whole new world or a friend like me. The only song I really like is like You're Only Second Rate, which is a Jafar song that he sings when he's like capturing the genie.
Yeah, Jafar. I mean, a good villain song is so important to a Disney movie. It can really make or break the whole thing.
He never had one in the first movie, right?
He did not.
Yeah. He had Prince Ali reprise.
Oh yeah,
right. Just
so
that
to
small
sing like
thing.
a little bit, but it's good. I mean, and it's an excellent moment. Every good villain deserves a good song.
Yeah, it's just interesting that we got it in a sequel and not the original. You know.
Yeah. Something that bothered me was I had to look it up because I was like, what is wrong with Jasmine's voice? And of course, because it's not Lea Salonga singing for Jasmine. It's Liz Calloway singing for Jasmine instead.
She's Anastasia's
She's
voice.
Anastasia's voice. She's also the voice of the Swan Princess, Odette. And
oh my gosh, Odette.
I know. She does a lot of voices, and she is like extremely prolific in taking over as like the singing voice for other for actors who can't sing. She just does it all the time. But yeah, when she starts singing, I was like, no, that's not Lea Salonga. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
It's just, she sounded like every other princess. There was like nothing to set her voice apart.
Oh, let's talk about Jasmine and Aladdin. So this takes place a year after Aladdin. And I like that they aren't married yet.
They're taking their sweet time.
Yeah.
I know. Because like that was another thing they wanted to talk about before they got to the TV series was it's kind of open-ended at the end of Aladdin. You don't know if they're married or not. And
yeah, they just kind of fly away.
Yeah. And I guess they didn't want a TV series about a married couple.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's an interesting choice.
I mean, if you
Yeah,
think
so-
about it, she was like, what, 16 in the movie?
Yeah, 15, 16.
They held off. They saved the wedding subplot for the third one.
Yes. Now, does the third one take place after the TV series?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Bri, you got to watch the entire TV series.
Cool. I'll add that to my queue along with Clone Wars is next.
Oh, Clone Wars is excellent. So
I'm excited.
that's necessary watching.
Oh, I know. I'm very behind in my Star Wars.
Is the Aladdin show on Disney Plus? Or I remember it being very charming, but who can trust the brain of a child, right? I also thought that this movie might be actually. I was
Right.
like, oh, I remember liking that movie. And
Oh, the Aladdin series is not on Disney Plus.
oh no!
I am
Interesting.
wondering if it's problematic.
Ooh, I might have to commit some
Well,
piracy to find out.
Some of this
It's probably
movie
all on YouTube.
was problematic, so yeah. Also, weird question since we're on Aladdin. So it's been a year. How does he still only have 2 clothing options?
Bri.
And no
They had
shirt.
$3 million budget.
No
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
they definitely just reused animation from the first one, right? Like,
Yeah, he's still wearing his prince outfit, even though he's clearly not a prince.
No, I know. And then Street Rat. I mean, there's no in between for him, I guess. Also, did not bother you guys that the first thing we see Aladdin do is steal?
But he's stealing from thieves, so it kind of cancels it out, right?
in Disney morality, maybe.
But I'm like, where did that stuff come from? I'm like,
And then he just goes and throws it out into the street. He just like a shower of gold.
yeah.
to
And I was
people.
like,
And like diamonds, he could have knocked someone out with that.
oh, definitely. I mean, that one guy got like a, I don't know
Scepter.
what you call it, but you know, like a king like
scepter.
holds it.
Bri, can you hear me?
What is it?
Scepter.
A scepter. Yes, thank you. That scepter falls in his bowl. Could have knocked his rest of his teeth out.
He didn't have many left.
No.
And really,
And then
what's he
he
going to
just-
do with it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's he going to do with the
Sell it.
scepter?
But who's going
But
to
now
sell it to
everybody
him?
has gold now. He's just... The inflation rate in Agrabah, it must be absurd.
It's like,
But
oh,
wouldn't
damn,
those
Aladdin
people
just...
think that those people were thieves too, and then they could get arrested? I mean, it creates a whole problem.
Right? Oh, no, I just found this scepter. It's like, yeah, okay. We watched somebody
Sure.
steal it, or somebody stole it, and now you have it, so...
Yeah,
You know that their justice is swift. You saw the first one. That guy was going to just chop Jasmine's hand off, which...
Oh, I know.
Like, yikes.
Oh.
big yikes.
That brings up,
Right? Big yikes.
we're jumping around a lot, but the ending, well, close to the ending, when Jafar sets up Aladdin with the
to be beheaded.
with the worst, like, evidence ever. It's the Sultan's hat, and there's a dagger. I wonder,
Oh my god.
like, Aladdin went out and killed him, but then
But brought back his hat.
Yes,
when-
as, like, a trophy?
When Jafar, disguised as Jasmine, is like, "How dare you?"
I
And
know.
Aladdin's like, "Oh no, she doesn't believe me." He just like takes her Jasmine's like word for it that she's mad. You know, like he doesn't
Yeah.
question like, "Wait, that doesn't sound like my girlfriend." He just like he's like, "Oh no, I didn't do it, I swear." And then, you know, Jafar Jasmine's like, "I hate you," and storms away. And he's like, "Oh well, I guess I messed that up again with her." I
Guess
don't
I'm
know.
gonna be killed. I don't know.
But the guard is, like, so excited about murdering Aladdin.
Yes.
He still holds
smile?
that beef from all the shenanigans in the first one.
Yeah, he's like,
He-
oh, finally, the street rat's gone.
Yeah, I vividly remember that scene as a child, and I was like, how is this a thing?
I do think it's interesting how Jafar was transforming into people.
Yeah,
Constantly.
convincingly.
Except when he did that thing where he changed his face really quick, and that was creepy.
Terrifying.
I mean, I would have been. I don't know how Aladdin didn't have, like, not dry pants after that moment.
It's so scary.
Yeah, his girlfriend's body with Jafar's face.
Oh, how could he look at her again?
Never ever look at her again. Traumatized forever.
Yeah. It's like,
Honestly,
I'm sorry,
Aladdin,
Jasmine, I'm
just
gonna
leave.
have to leave you because you remind me of Jafar now.
She's like, what?
Is it Honestly, I think Aladdin should just leave altogether. Not just because of that, but definitely because of that. But like, it really did bother me that as soon as Aladdin's like loyalty was called into question, which all he was doing was hiding a parrot. It's not like he was committing like horrible crimes. But as soon as this loyalty is called into question, like multiple times in this film, they're just fully willing to discredit him and not trust him. And like, there's no mutual trust in this family at all. And like, Jasmine isn't like you guys are supposed to love each other, like give each other the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe he hid the parrot from you, but maybe he had like a really good reason to, and like or was planning to tell you later, just not right there in front of all these people, you know? Like it didn't seem like that healthy of a relationship.
No, as a child, I was like, Jasmine, you should be offended. You dump his butt. Aladdin's a liar. Why would he hurt you like this? And as an adult, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. He was obviously going to tell them because he said, speaking of Iago.
But he was acting a little sus, you do have to admit. And then also, I'm sorry, how did she not see that bird cage? It just...
She was
distracted by Aladdin.
He's very roguish and handsome.
I guess the chest hair.
No, there's no chest hair.
There's
and
no nipples either.
Oh, right. There's no, right. Oh, who am I thinking of? Gaston?
Just smooth as a dolphin.
As a Ken doll.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I mean, I was just like, you have big eyes. Just look in front of you.
Your eyes take up most of your face.
Exactly.
Speaking of design, I'm doing really well with these segues. The genie loses his cuffs at the end of Aladdin. Do you remember that?
Yes,
because
they're back on in this movie.
Yeah.
That bothered me so much as a kid.
It was so weird.
Like, that was part of his like enslavement.
Yeah.
Why would he ever voluntarily put them back on? Did they think his wrists just look weird without them? Like,
yeah, they just thought he looked better. That was his iconic look.
So they thought he looked better as a slave?
I guess you could say that.
And that bothered me as a kid. You just said bothered you as a kid. So it's not like, oh, well, kids won't even notice. Because clearly we did. They're just...
Yeah, because
his whole arc was about being free. And then, like, he went to Disneyland.
Yes, he did. He had a little goofy hat on. And and it was... Oh, yeah, that really bothered me. And you couldn't, like, he had to have the cuffs off to show, like, again, the difference between him and Jafar, right? Like, or that's what should have happened. But...
Well, yes.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is, like, when Jafar gets his cuffs in Aladdin, the first movie, he's like, what? And then he gets...
enslaved to the lamp.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they make...
I guess I didn't realize, like, how many times kids watch their VHS of Aladdin.
And I think that becomes a problem, and you see it, like, generation to generation. I see it all the time with, like, millennials talking to Gen Z, right? And where you just don't know what the kids are going to notice or what they're up to or what they're going to care about. So if they're animated, they're, like, full-grown adults animating this movie for little kids. They, or, like, home video, like home videos and VHS are really starting to take off, and everybody now newly has a VCR in their home. But these older generations who don't think like kids, obviously, would just go, well, they won't notice, they won't care, and then we did notice and care, but it's I think it's just like a culture gap. They were like, oh, whatever, we can just animate this, and I mean, obviously they still made all their money, but
right, but I think that's just showing like the people who care more about what they animate and people who just like don't care about those details, because like great animated shows like remember small details, you know, and I feel like even though they're sequels, they should carry on the same care.
Trying to rewatch some of those old Disney afternoon shows is tough because there's no continuity. The animation differs so often. When I watch something like, I did recently, a few years ago, rewatch some of the Aladdin series. I don't know how I saw it. But then I watched the Rapunzel series, The Tangled Adventures. And their animation is consistent. Their storylines. It's just beautiful piece of art, you know?
Yeah, I've heard that the Tangled show is excellent. I think that just over the years that people started taking kids programming more seriously. and finally realized that, like, oh, these kids, they care about the narrative, and they don't just want to see pretty pictures on the screen. And it's when, you know, from the, I guess it must have started in the 90s to today, where people start taking not just kids media more seriously, but starting taking kids more seriously. And so shows become a little bit more advanced and tackle tougher topics. And I think that's wonderful. Some of the kid shows today that my friends who are like new parents are like, oh my gosh, you will never believe how advanced some of these shows are, and how cool it is that I can introduce my kids to these more complex ideas earlier and follow narratives, because kids can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, back in the day, it was just like, I don't know, let's just draw something that looks like a toy and have it talk in a funny voice, and they'll buy the toy and be entertained and out of our hair for a few minutes.
It's true. It's all about marketing.
Yeah, and I guess it's like the genie is known for this look with the bracelets. Let's call them bracelets instead of cuffs.
Even though they're cuffs.
Yeah. Ouch, though, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, guys, do you think the Marvel execs saw this movie, and that's where they got the end credit scene for him? Did you guys watch past the credits?
For which one?
Return of Jafar.
There was an end credit scene for...
Yeah, I had no idea.
For this?
Abysmal's... Yes, for this.
No way.
Yes, it's like a 20-second clip.
What?
It's Abysmal hanging from a tree and saying something like, I still have one wish left, or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
What did
that
he
is
wish
so
for?
funny.
He didn't wish for anything. He's like, what about my wish, you know? Because Jafar's, like, dead.
Oh,
They
right.
literally kill off Jafar in this.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
There's no vagary here. Jafar is gone now, for sure.
Actually...
No more returns.
Nope, there was a return.
In the
There
show?
was a... Do you guys remember this or no?
No.
Okay,
I know.
let me continue, because I vividly remember this. There was a crossover of Hercules, the TV series, and the Aladdin series. And Hades makes friends with a dead soul Jafar in the underworld.
Oh my goodness.
I am not making this up, guys. I know it
no.
sounds like I am.
No, that's just hilarious to me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Aladdin and Hercules team up to defeat the Jafar and Hades combo.
Okay, I'm gonna go find it and watch it, and then
Yeah, I
never
need
stop
that.
talking about it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because actually, like, Hades and Jafar are, like, two of my favorite villains, so...
Oh, they're wonderful.
The ultimate duo. Sassy. Both
yeah,
of them
they
are very
definitely,
sassy.
like, pretty sure they annoyed each other. Or, like, Hades thought he was too dramatic.
They're both so dramatic.
Oh, I know. That's what's so great. Interesting. Okay. Interesting
So
crossover.
He did return, again.
That's wild. Okay, but he's definitely dead, though.
Yeah,
he only
he's
returned
dead.
because he made friends with Hades.
No.
Oh,
He was
wow.
trying to, though.
Wow. I didn't know there was an end credit. No, I didn't watch the end. As soon as it was over, I was like, I'm done.
They
I gotta
probably
go.
thought Jason Alexander was very funny. And,
They bring him back for the series.
Really?
oh.
Yeah.
Man, that dude was everywhere in the 90s.
Yeah, Abysmal is part of the series. They have a bunch of reoccurring villains in that
Interesting.
series.
Okay.
He is such a strange little piece of animation. He's got he's not a good looking cartoon character by any means whatsoever. And I noticed when I was watching this one, and then the other day I was watching Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And I did notice that a lot of times, these characters, especially the bad ones, they get like yellow eyes. They're like eyeballs. The whites of their eyes are like tinted yellow. They do it to like the whole evil pride in Lion King 2.
Yeah.
And they did it to Jason Alexander. Where I was like, this is a terrifying little piece of animation, and I wonder if it was just like, I don't remember any of the main Disney movies doing that. Or if they did it, it was more subtle. But it was like it was like on Microsoft Paint when you just drop the paint can into a space and just color it one solid bright yellow on this guy's eyes, and it was weird. It was
Well,
really
these movies are like a lot shorter than a regular
Right.
length feature film.
true.
Like, I was like, oh, can I watch this? It's pretty late already. And I'm like, I'm already done. It's almost midnight.
But I could have waited a couple minutes longer, apparently, and watched an end credit scene. No, I had to go to work. I crammed it in.
I just was like, as soon as it's done, I was like, all right, thank goodness that's over with.
Let me wash my hands of that.
I don't know. I'm just going to ask this question because it just, okay, Jasmine had a different outfit, but not Aladdin.
Oh yeah, was she in what was she? Was she in purple?
Yeah,
yeah,
she was in purple. That was like her end credits moment, like when they're flying away at the end of.
Oh, that's right. So they just kept her in that outfit for a year. Okay, cool.
I guess.
Animated people wear the same thing. Bri.
I know.
$3 million budget. And again, in the series, Aladdin lives in the palace, or he doesn't live in the palace, but he is still like engaged to Jasmine.
So where? Does he?
Where
live?
Does he live?
Yeah,
I think he and the genie and Abu and Iago still live in his like penthouse above the city.
the one that he pays no rent for.
No, wait, doesn't he get like when he was in the first movie when he was staying there when he was still pretending to be Prince Ali, he gets like a little little pool house or something, like a back house on the ground somewhere.
I don't know.
Right.
I really
Maybe
I remember them using that area again. Maybe they just use it as like a hangout in Agrabah. But he never gets a costume change because again, that's the iconic Aladdin outfit.
Well, that's true. And it's all about marketing.
Those kids are stupid and they wouldn't recognize Aladdin without the outfit.
Oh, that's right. Because who is this man now? I don't know him.
I don't recognize
I don't know if he has nipples or not.
There's like definitely no nipples there, right? It's weird.
No. Poor Aladdin.
It was still fun to watch though, right? Like the nostalgia, like
Oh, I had a great time.
Back.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I grabbed a friend and we just kicked back and watched it, and it was definitely fun. It wasn't tedious, and it wasn't like it wasn't like I mean, it was a little annoying, but it wasn't like bad. I mean it's not great. It's hard to classify because I just wanted to I was like, oh, this is fun. This is just like a good time.
Yeah.
Still, I don't know. I definitely watched this like 100 times because it's in my brain somewhere.
I don't think I watched it a lot growing up. Like, I just think I was like, eh. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I like Gilbert Gottfried, and, he's funny.
He's definitely funny. That voice, though, not necessarily meant for solo songs.
No.
Romantic songs. He kind of does a duet with Jasmine.
Oh, yes. No, it's like I was thinking about this. I was like, I wonder if any kids in, like, performing in Thespian did this as, like, a little, like, trio piece. Is that... Just what came to my head. I'm like, oh, this would be hilarious.
Oh so, gosh, you guys know... You guys remember the live action Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I finally watched it.
Yeah. It's okay. We did a whole podcast episode on our other podcast when it came out, and that movie did fantastic at the box office. So, of course, that means sequel. So, there are rumors that Return of Jafar is what that sequel is going to be.
No, I don't like that.
I mean, they would have to make it completely different.
It would be the first time an animated direct-to-video Disney film is adapted for live action.
I mean, but they would have to adapt it. Like, I mean, it would be a different script. It would just have the same name.
Can we just skip it? Can we skip Return of Jafar and just go to Prince of Thieves?
But no, I think if they did it, they would really have to just rewrite everything, because really we didn't get an Iago, so that would already be gone. I mean, I really think they could make it menacing, but it just on how far they want to take it.
I'd see it. Of course I'd see it.
I feel like if they did it, there would be an epic battle between Jafar and then the genie, Will Smith. It could be cool.
But the genie's a human man now.
Oh, I know. That's why it'd be cool.
He's like dead in 5 minutes. Oh, that's a whole thing they kept repeating is like, Jafar can't kill anyone because he's a genie, but you will be surprised what you can live through.
Oh, yeah. I was really shocked how many times they said that line.
It was a lot. Like, you could make a shot game of it. Like,
Right. You
Yeah.
could turn it into a drinking game and just
Yeah.
drink every time they say that horrifyingly, like basically supporting, I don't know, torture. Like, what are they?
Yeah.
I don't know what they were
ugh.
supporting, but it was like, okay.
It was really dark.
Yeah. 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 That's right. You said a lot.
You'd be surprised what you can live through. Like, what?
It's like, okay.
Are you kidding me?
Jafar's trying to make it a popular slogan.
Like, this is
putting on
my new
t-shirts.
catchphrase.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it just reminds me of, like, are they, like, just calling, I don't know, are they trying to make a statement about, I don't know what type of statement they want to be making about that, though.
I think it's just to remind people, like, oh, why don't they just kill Aladdin? Get it over with, kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Or they're just really disturbed. Speaking of which, there are 13 writers on this movie.
I
noticed
saw that.
when the credits started to roll, and I was like, that's too many writers. That's absurd.
Way too many for this script.
They
It's
definitely,
like a 70 minutes.
it's definitely that they had to credit all of the writers who, like, they probably assigned it to 2 people, and then 2 other people took it and rewrote parts of it, and then 2 other people took it and rewrote parts of that. I mean, the script is so strange that it had to have gone through, like, the most rewrites. And instead of just saying written by the Disney writing staff, they just had to credit every single one of them. Writers Guild rules. It's just, wow, that was too many people.
I don't even know if I would want my name on this script, like, even to get into the Writers
To get
Guild.
into the
I've
guild.
been like, I'm good. You can leave me out.
Yeah, you can call this one for free. This
Yeah.
was a pro bono
You
thing.
could say it's Smithy or whatever that pseudonym is people use when they're ashamed of their work.
Oh yeah, I get a kick out of that. Yeah, when people are like, "Well, I didn't do this." Some other random.
It's just surprising. And there is, what, 2 directors as well?
That sounds right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. Okay, so are you guys excited about King of Thieves?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember it being better.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
I loved King of Thieves as a kid. I mean, it's probably been like 20 years since I've seen it, but I remember loving.
Because that one has
King of
Aladdin's
Thieves?
dad in it, right?
Yeah, his deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
His Debbie dad, and I have such strong. It is King of Thieves. I've been referring to it as Prince of Thieves this whole time, but that's a Kevin Costner movie.
That's a Robin Hood movie.
Oh, right.
Prince of Thieves is definitely a Robin Hood, Kevin Costner movie. So never mind. King of Thieves, yes. I have very strong memories of it, and Robin Williams comes back for it. I remember it being really good. I remember the Midas touch thing, and
Yeah, I think I remember that one more than this one. And after watching it, I get why.
so
You're like, even as a child, I had good taste.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I was above this. No.
definitely looking for an excuse to watch it and see if it holds up for sure.
Oh, yeah. I
So-
want to see how they portray, like, the bad guys. Which I assume is including Aladdin's father, if I can remember that.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Alice, you have a Disney podcast.
That's true. I do. Well, it's a theme park podcast, but as we all know, Disney is the like gold standard of theme parks. So we end up talking about Disneyland 9 times out of 10. But yeah, it's called Those Happy Places. We subtitled the podcast that treats theme parks, rides, and attractions like literature. So we'll take a ride or a park or some aspect of themed entertainment and talk about like why it's important culturally and why it's how like rides and deserve to be a media that's talked about just as often and just as critically as books or films. Because so much design work goes into a theme park ride or a theme park experience, and it deserves to be talked about. So it's so much fun. I host it with my best friend Buddy Duquesne, and he is just maybe the smartest person I've ever met, and it's such a fun podcast to make and a cool topic. So thosehappyplaces.com.
And that's it for our very first episode of Straight Out of Home Video. I can't wait to go on this adventure. I'm scared of Hunchback too.
Oh, no. Why did you have to remind me of that one?
It's so bad.
Oh, no.
Jennifer Love Hewitt's in it.
Oh, I know. Oh, no.
It's going to be an adventure.
A wild ride.